Hello, everybody. This is Card Guy Chris Ellis,
with Collectible Chris.
and we are here to talk about.
Week 3 NFL, week 4 college, and of course how we did on our predictions from this past week. But before we get started, huge shout out to Mr. Nick Chubb that suffered a season-ending injury in the last game between the Browns and the Steelers. Chubb, of course, always has an amazing game. This is the first legit injury he's had in his whole career. For a guy that has lasted longer than Henry and any other running back and always had consistent numbers, it's a big loss not only to Cleveland fans but really fans of the game, because we all know that Chubb's just one of those players that's just freaking explosive. Chubb, hopefully you have a speedy recovery, and hopefully you'll see you back on the field. So before that, just like last week, we actually both came out with the same records. Dad was 10-6. Once again, I was 9-7. So Dad's 20-12 so far for this year. I'm 18-14, so behind by 2 games. Other than by week 2, I was behind by 10 already. So yeah, I'm better with my picks. Eagles blew out not blew out. It was actually a close game and toward the end. Eagles top Vikings 34-28. Ravens beat the Bengals close 27-24. Seahawks actually bested the Lions 37-31. The battle between rookie quarterbacks, Colts beat Texas 31-20, with Stroud actually having a better game. Bucks beat the Bears 27-17. Chiefs Jags was a very close game, very divisive game actually, 17-9. Falcons topped the Packers 25-24. The Bills topped the Raiders, which Dad picked the Bills to win, and that was actually my worst pick, 38-10. Chargers and Titans won 27-24. Niners, of course, beat the Rams, but it was a close game. It was a rivalry game, 30-23. The Giants beat the Cardinals. I was actually winning that pick until, the third quarter?
Yeah.
And the Giants beat them 31-28. I was shocked as heck. Our lockdown of the week, Cowboys bested the Jets 30-10. I picked the Commanders. Dad picked the Broncos. Commanders won by 2, 35-33. Great game. Shout out to Sam Howell. A great performance.
Mm-hmm.
Dolphins beat the Pats 24-17.
That was a good game.
That was a wonderful game. Another good game was Saints against Panthers. Saints won 20-17. And the Steelers barely beat the Browns 26-22, mainly because of them losing basically their franchise player. So our players of the week. My players of the week this week is all coming from losing teams. I just think these guys had stellar performances. My offensive player of the week was Kirk Cousins, 31 out of 44 against the Eagles with 364 yards passing, 4 TDs, and no interceptions. I mean, a performance like that, you'd think he won, but yeah.
Yeah, I gave mine to Christian McCaffrey from the 49ers. He had 116 yards rushing, 1 TD, 19 yards receiving. Just was major impact against the Rams, and having a good first 2 weeks of the season. So hopefully he stay healthy.
I mean, a balanced offense for him for the first time in his career, so very happy about that. Mm-hmm. Rookies of the week, I'm going to go with a different rookie quarterback this week. I'm going with Stroud for Houston. He was 30 for 47 with 384 yards passing, 2 TDs and 0 interceptions, few yards rushing. Good stellar performance against a Colt defense. I just thought he had a better defense than Richardson, so.
Yeah, I'm going with B. John Robertson from the deep of the heart of Texas. 19 carries, 124 yards rushing. He had 48 yards receiving. Basically, he's had 2 great weeks of rushing and receiving the ball. So, yeah, I would say that's, especially collectors need to be. Stroud and Robinson are looking really good collectible-wise. And so is Stroud definitely right now, and Robinson, and I think Richardson. Hopefully his concussion is not serious, so hopefully he's on the field this weekend.
And a couple guys that people should be looking for. Jalen Hyatt from Tennessee had a good showing out in the Giants game, 89 yards receiving. Another guy that people should be looking at is Zay Flowers. Another solid performance with the Ravens, not having a touchdown yet, but he's getting close. He's averaged 50 yards plus. Last week he was at 64. This week he was at 79. So definitely look for Zay Flowers. His stuff should be going up as well. Mm-hmm. Defensive player of the week, I'm going with Quay Walker, my boy, my rookie from last year, showing out in the second game of the season with 17 total tackles, 8 solo, and 9 assisted.
Yeah, I'm going to go with T.J. Watt. He had 2 tackles, 2 assisted, and 1 sack, and basically got the sack that pretty much ended the game. So, other than could have been pass interference called, but there was more plays than that cost them. So we're going to go now to our college, which we were both.
College, we were both 9-0. So for the season, for this season, we're 18-1 with the top 10 picks. Penn State beat Illinois 30-13. Florida State beat Boston College. Boston College almost won. I said that they had the potential, and they only lost by 2, 31-29.
Yeah, that was a close game.
Notre Dame also had a close game. I forgot to write down the score, but it was like 34-24.
Yeah, yeah.
It was a close game. Bama barely beat South Florida, and I say barely just because of their first half performance. Bama beat them 17-3. Georgia barely beat South Carolina. South Carolina is always one of those teams that's just scary when it comes to against top 25 people, top 10, honestly. Georgia winning 24-14. Ohio State also beat Western Kentucky. I forgot to write the score down, but that was the blowout of the week, honestly, because Washington really was the blowout. Washington beat Michigan State 41-7.
Washington's quarterback is really good.
Yeah, he's a Heisman candidate now, isn't he?
He should be, because the last 2
weeks,
weeks,
him and Sanders really should be the main focal points right now. Michigan beat Bowling Green. Texas and Wyoming was a close game for a while.
Texas started out really slow.
Yeah. And for our pick of our game of the week that we picked was Tennessee against Florida. Dad picked Florida. I picked Tennessee. Florida won 29-16. Florida had a hot start, and the second half they cooled off, and Tennessee got it. But so now both teams are in the top 25. Florida's 25th, and Tennessee dropped to 23 after that. So,
yeah.
So week 3, and Thursday Night Football is going to be my lockdown pick this week. I mean, Giants did good, but Giants versus Niners, I'm going with the Niners. Niners have the best defense. Niners have the best young quarterback in the game right now with the most explosive offense. Cannot say anything less about my Niners. Go Niner Nation. I'm picking Niners.
Yeah, I'll second you on that pick. That is definitely a safe.
That's my lockdown. All right. Sorry, I had to do the Michael Irvin thing. Okay. This game is going to be interesting. 1-1 Falcons versus 1-1 Lions in Detroit.
I like Atlanta's run game. I just don't like their passing attack. The Lions' defense is giving up a little bit too many points. I know they're trying to rush and blitz and everything. It's in Detroit. I'll go with the Lions.
That's what I'm thinking too. The Lions lost in Detroit last week. I think they're just do what they need to do. So I'm going to go with Lions as well. Chargers versus Vikings.
Last week's loss by the Chargers was not Aber's fault. He had a great game, and that team is just, I don't know what's wrong with that team, but Minnesota should beat the Chargers this week. I think the Vikings get their first win.
Well, it's 0-2 Chargers versus 0-2 Vikings. This is a do or die for Kirk Cousins and the Vikings, so I'm going to go with Vikings just because of that. This next game is going to be good, in my opinion. Saints versus Packers. Young quarterback versus experienced quarterback.
I'm going to go with Saints in this one.
You're going with Saints at Lambeau.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I'm going with the experienced quarterback with the better receivers.
Okay. I'm actually going to go with the young stud with the better defense.
Okay.
So I'm going with Packers. So we got our first disagreement.
Mhm.
All right, the next game: Texans versus Jaguars.
Oh, I'm going Jaguars on this one.
I'm contemplating this because Stroud had a great game, but it's the Texans defense that's giving me the most worries. Jaguars could not score really on that Chiefs defense, and I thought they could. So I
Well,
think
they were 0-3 in the red zone.
yeah.
So
So with Lawrence, I think Lawrence has that chip on his shoulder. So I'm gonna go with Lawrence as well with the Jags. Next game is gonna be Broncos versus Dolphins in Miami.
Dolphins.
Yeah,
The way Tua's playing right now,
it's just scary.
Yep.
All right, 1-1 Titans versus 1-1 Browns.
I'm gonna go with Cleveland.
You're going with Cleveland, okay?
Yeah, they just signed Kareem Hunt. He shouldn't have to. He shouldn't be hard to get back into the system. So
Oh, they re-signed him?
Yep.
Oh, ooh, I did not know that.
Yep.
Okay. Now after
It's
hearing
been-
that, I don't know. Because I was about to say Titans, just because they
it's
lost.
both going to be a run game. I mean, Titans.
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
got to be Henry against Kareem.
yeah, basically.
But
I mean, Brown did. I mean, yeah, Brown, right?
Yeah.
Was the backup.
yeah.
He did well. He is one of those running backs I thought was going to be coming off the thing very well. So
Oh God. So really, it's just got to be about who can manage the game better.
yep.
Oh crap. Oh, I had my pick, and then you told me that. And Kareem is scary. And
Hopefully he stayed in shape.
Henry does not. Henry is not in his beast mode. I'm going Cleveland.
Okay.
I'm going Cleveland. All right. This next one is going to be weird. 1-1 Bills versus the 2-0 Commanders.
I'm going with the Bills in this one.
You're going with Bills.
Even though Sam Howell is playing great and Robinson looks really good at running back, Commanders' defense is looking pretty good with Chase Young, who is not completely healthy yet. So I mean, the Commanders have a nice team right now. I mean, if they can keep Sam Howell up, you know,
Just because of the high they're on, and it's in Washington, I'm going with the Commanders. This next one's going to be a good game.
yep.
Colts versus Ravens in Baltimore.
I'm going with the Ravens just because of the situation with Richardson. I don't know if he's going to play or not. Even though Gardner Minshew had a good game coming in for him.
I mean, Mitchell is one of the best backups, and he did not have a bad starting career either. Colts have a more solid defense, and they got actual receivers. Ravens have young guys that are actually getting it together. This is going to be a close game. I'm going with the Colts. This is going to be an interesting game. Pats versus Jets.
I'm going Jets just because of the defense.
I'm going with Jets because of one person, Brees Hall. Panthers versus Seahawks. Seahawks had a tough game last week.
This is in Seattle, so I'm going to go with the Seahawks. I think.
Last time we said that, they lost.
I know, but I just don't. The Panthers just got too many holes to fill.
I do agree with that, yes. So does one of the teams on the next thing. Bears versus Chiefs.
I do not like how the Chiefs are playing football right now. In saying that, however, I think they will beat the Bears. Not soundly, but they will beat them.
I do agree with that. Pat is not just being Pat Mahomes. He's not doing his tricks. He's not managing the game like he is. But the Bears, I mean, they're scoring. So they're doing way more than they have been doing in the last 4 years.
Yep.
But they're not living up to their hype. So I'm going Chiefs as well. This next game.
Pray for the Cardinals offense because the Cowboys defense will be all over them.
Cowboys versus Cardinals in Arizona.
Cowboys will win this game.
Uh,
Yes.
I'm going with Cowboys.
They will win this game.
I'm going with Cowboys.
If it's not as bad as the Jets game this last week or the Giants game, I'll be shocked. But
Fair enough. Okay, this next game is going to be interesting too. Steelers versus Raiders.
I'm gonna go with Steelers.
You're going with Steelers. Okay. I mean, the Raiders had a tough game last week against the Bills. I'm not blaming them. Pickett actually impressed me and actually managed to game better in the second half. I like Jimmy G. I think they got the better staff, but
They just don't have
Pickett.
they don't have the pieces, all the pieces around Jimmy yet.
Yeah, so I'm going with Pickett just to the fact he finally got that confidence boost. Eagles versus Bucks. 2-0 team versus 2-0 team.
I'm going to go for the upset on this one. I am going to go with Tampa.
Ironically, both me and you actually agree on this. I'm going with the upset as well. The Bucks have the better defense. They've actually have tried to secure the ball. They have not slacked. The Eagles have been slacking so dang much in the first 2 games of the season. And that's the first Monday night game, too. So the second Monday night game in Monday Night Football, Rams versus Bengals.
I don't know how Burrow's shoulder is, so I'm going to go with the Rams.
I thought it was his calf.
Or his calf.
It's a calf. And the fact is that the Bengals need this win in order to stay now. But Stafford has been being what he's been doing when he was back in Detroit. He's back in the groove. I'm going with the Rams as well.
Oh, well, Akers is, well, not Akers, but Williams from Notre Dame that they drafted last year is having a good sophomore year.
Oh, yeah, he is. I do agree with that. All right, so week 4, college football. This is going to be a doozy because we got a lot of great games all around. So, top 10, and of course we'll do our games of the week as well. So, Rutgers versus number 2 Michigan.
Michigan will win this game.
Rutgers is good. Always been a great football program, but the Wolverines are just highly impressive right now. Good job, Harbaugh. Number 4, Florida State versus Clemson. And Clemson actually out of the top 25 for the first time in years.
I like how Florida State's playing football. I'll go with Florida State in this one.
If Clemson was not slacking on defense, I would say Clemson, but Florida State is just too freaking good right now. Potentially game of the week. Number 19 Colorado versus number 10 Oregon.
I'm going with Oregon. It's in Oregon.
I'm staying on the hype train. I'm going with number 19 Colorado.
Well, that's a good choice.
Number 3 Texas versus Baylor. Rivalry game.
This could definitely be a trap game for Texas, but I'm going to pick Texas.
I'm going to go with Texas. It's going to be a great game. If Burke does what he did against the Alabama offense on Baylor, they'll win. Another rivalry game. Number 24 Iowa versus number 7 Penn State.
I'm going with Penn State in this one. I think Penn State looks really good.
They got a good running back. They got a solid quarterback. I'm going with Penn State as well. This is going to be Dad's game of the week.
Yep.
Number 6 Ohio State versus number 9 Notre Dame. Playoff implications right here.
I'm going to go with Notre Dame.
You're going with Notre Dame. All right. Ohio State really hasn't faced anybody. Neither has Notre Dame. I'm going to go with the better coach. I'm going with number 9 Notre Dame. UAB versus number 1 Georgia.
Oh, Georgia should have won this one by a landslide.
UAB's good, though.
No.
UAB is actually good. I think this will be a better score than the Florida State USM game, so I'm still going with Georgia. Another rivalry game.
This one will be a good one, I think, though. But the better team's going to win.
California versus number 8 Washington.
Washington's winning this game.
That quarterback is just too dang good.
I like him. He's good.
I'm going with Washington as well. And the other one, the last top 10, number 5 USC versus Arizona State.
I'm going to go with USC. I think Caleb Williams is just scary.
I'm going with the upsets of the year. I'm going with Arizona State. Arizona State has just been too dang good against top 10 teams in the last 5 years alone. They have done the ultimate surprise. They got a wonderful coach. They have solid players, and I think that strong safety is going to be doing some interception routes. So I'm going with the upset here. And my game of the week is going to be number 15 Ole Miss versus number 13 Alabama. I strongly think this is going to be a make or break deal for Saban, and if Alabama loses this game, Saban is going to have the biggest fit of his life. I'm going. This is not even an upset. This is actually the closest game that Ole Miss will ever have against Bama. I'm going with number 15 Ole Miss against Bama.
Interesting.
Who are you going for in that one?
I just don't like how Alabama's playing.
Same here.
Yeah,
And Ole Miss at least has been playing.
I think I'm with you. I think Ole Miss is a good pick.
Okay. And this one is not included in our records since this is our games of the week. So,
Except for the Notre Dame.
yeah, Notre Dame, Ohio State, because that's part of the top 10. So,
Yeah.
All right, Dad.
Okay, go ahead.
All right. Another this or that. We gotta keep the same game as last week. So, this or that. Tell me your opinion. Pick and tell me give me your explanation why. So, the bigger loss to the team: Aaron Rodgers on the Dolphins. Well, Aaron Rodgers on the Jets or Nick Chubb on the Cleveland Browns.
Chubb on the Browns. Just because the run game is the most dominant thing that the Browns have, and the quarterback is suspect. The Jets both teams got good defenses, but I think Chubb's more lost than Favre. I mean, not Favre. Rodgers.
Hey, I don't blame you. I've done the same thing. All right. Which player has more to feel in these positions? Zach Wilson at quarterback or Jerome Ford? Well, since now I know they re-signed Kareem Hunt. But Zach Wilson or Jerome Ford?
Who has more of the feel?
Yeah.
More role of the feel?
Yeah.
Oh, Zach. He's got to know Aaron runs a totally different system than he did. So I think Ford just needs to know handball or catch out of the backfield. I think Zach has a lot of holes that he's got to fill in everything. So,
all right. Which player has done more of an impact for their team? Tony Pollard for the Cowboys or Raheem Mostert for the Miami Dolphins?
right now I'm gonna say Mostert for this season, because he brings that explosiveness. He's like one of the fastest running backs in the league. So,
I mean, the fact that the Dolphins basically have the two fastest players on
Yeah.
both positions, it's scary.
Yeah.
Technically three, because Ramsey's the fastest corner.
So yeah, I think it's Mostert just because he can't always defend the pass, and the way Tua is throwing the ball right now, I mean he's throwing passes that are just like, precision passes. I mean he's dotting everywhere, so almost. So
All right. Between these two, who has been more impressive in their game management? Jordan Love or Kenny Pickett? So far this season.
I think I think they're even because Jordan did really well the first game and then not well the second. It's almost like Pickett, they switched off week 1 and 2.
Okay.
So I'd say they're even right now. They need. I think a lot of it's on the coaching staff too. You got young quarterbacks. You don't leave the play clock always in their hands.
Okay.
So
Which team has more to prove for the rest of the season? Minnesota Vikings or the New York Giants? I'm sorry, let me say it like King Julian. The New York Panthers
who has more to prove
for the rest of the
this
season.
season? I think everybody thinks the Vikings are more of a playoff team than the Giants are. So I would have to say the Vikings.
And, I mean, the losses are not because of Cousins.
No,
I mean,
Cousins has played. It's had 2 good passing games. I mean, you got a guy that's the best average quarterback you can have. You know, he's right there. His statistics are there. It's the only thing that's really changed is the receivers.
receivers,
I
running
mean,
back.
not receivers, but running back. I mean, they drafted a guy.
Because Jordan Addison is the one.
Yeah,
with
and
the Viking.
and Addison had it. It's going to be fine. I think once they get the run game figured out, I don't. When you go from a guy that's a Pro Bowl type talent to a guy that's not been proven for 4 years in the league, you know, it's not like going from Tony Dorsett to Herschel Walker or Marcus Allen to Bo Jackson. It's going from, you know, Tiny Two Tone to Benny and the Jets. I mean, it's just, you know, just one of those things. So,
I mean, Giants are ranked last in overall in everything, and yet same thing as last year. They made it to the playoffs. They won a playoff game.
yeah.
I mean,
They got talent. I mean, I'm not going to say they don't.
I mean, if I asked who had more to prove between Cousins or Jones, I would say Jones just because
Oh,
he
yeah.
wanted all that money.
Yeah, Jones
Yeah,
has a lot to prove.
Yeah,
But as a team that's a team that's 0-2 and is thinking playoffs, it's to a team that's 0-2 and like what?
well, they're 1-1.
Yeah, that's true.
Giants are
9-1.
1-1.
Yeah, that's right. But still, I mean, I'd rather have the Vikings team than the Giants team right now. You
Okay.
know,
Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. I'm just waiting for that to do one of these games on me. So,
but you got anything else?
as of right now, I'm good. Well, except for this, be on the lookout for y'all's retailers. So they are stocking up on all the recent stuff. Prism is out, and Darkness Elite is also out. A lot of people have been getting good pulls out of them. Darkness Elite blasters, you can at least get a special number. They're actually not as rare as people think. So be sure to be on the lookout for that. In each pack of your Prism and the Prism football, you are guaranteed a Prism. So be on the lookout for those. They are about $35 to $40. Is it worth it sometimes? It's always a gamble. You never know what you'll pull. Just like the Drew Brees.
So, but I got nothing else. But we'll see you next week. So, have a nice rest of the week. Card Guy Chris Oz.
With Collectible Chris.
And we'll be talking to you later. Bye.